What's going on? Andrew here from the Footy Fans Podcast. We just talked about Canada qualifying for the World Cup 2022. Huge news, biggest news of the year, biggest news of the decade. We got super excited about it. The boys were there to talk about it. The boys were there to witness the game itself. If you guys want, please like and subscribe if you're new. Hope you guys enjoy. What's going on, guys? Footy Fans Podcast is back. Andrew, Santo, and Joe, as always. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Yeah, we're doing good. Like I said a few times, I think now, glad to hear the family's doing okay. And
Thank you.
Again, we're separated tonight from just COVID stuff, but here we are.
Yeah, a bit of a COVID, not scare, not nightmare, but just a bit of a COVID situation going on in the Iorio household over the last week. But like you said, we've all gone past it. I didn't get infected. I'm clean as a whistle, fit as a whistle, however the wording is. But yeah, the wife and my son had it. But no, they're doing well now. And I mean, I was off work this whole time taking care of them, so I got to watch a lot of footy during this week, which is a bonus for me as always.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to lead off with you guys. Our biggest story of the week, our biggest story of the year, our biggest story of our lives, maybe, in Canadian football. Canadian men's national team qualified for Qatar. You guys were there at BMO Field, experiencing the madness. How did it all unfold? Like, tell me about the experience, guys.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was just something that just kind of popped up. We took advantage of it and got a chance to go. And it was really funny how fast tickets sold out. I think tickets sold out in like a few hours just for that game. There's a lot of anticipation around it, so fortunate that we got the chance to go. Yeah, I mean, you could even tell right when we were in the city, we were taking the GO train from where our hotel was to the downtown core, because the GO train's like a 2-minute walk from BMO Field.
Yeah, it's really quick, super convenient, eh?
Yeah, GO train's like the best thing ever. I didn't even know about it till we went.
Yeah, I've only been there a few times to BMO Field, and both times I use the GO train, and it's like downtown BMO Field, because it's kind of in a weird spot, like off by the water almost.
Yeah.
Not right downtown. Understandable. You can't really get a stadium downtown.
Yeah.
But no, the GO train's it's key.
Yeah. Super great. So yeah, we got there, just chilled the night up, slept there, and then woke up. Took the GO train, but we left super early because we were gonna go there early for lunch. Right when we left, our GO train was at, I think, 11:30. You already had people all dressed in Canada gear going downtown, so you kind of knew what the situation is going to be like. So we get there, and just on the way, because we had, I think, a 50-minute drive from our hotel on the GO train to the field, and every stop.
Found out not every Costco has gas.
What's that?
Oh.
Side story.
Oh no!
The guy we drive. I didn't know this, but not every single Costco has a gas station. So we were driving around forever trying to find one with a gas station, but that's a different story.
Yeah, so we actually didn't get one. So we got on the GO train that was near this Costco that we didn't find gas at. But yeah, so every stop there was like tons of people with Canada gear coming on, all heading to the downtown core to wait for the game. So we got there, and then we actually got to the field early enough to watch them actually show up on the bus. So I'm sure, like you saw on my Instagram, when the bus actually shows up. So there was quite a few people when we got there right at, I think, 1:30. Bus was scheduled to come at 2, didn't arrive till like 2:30. But it was madness right at 2:30. I mean, the bus is going like 2 kilometers an hour down the street, heading towards the entrance, and there's just red flares going everywhere, and everyone's super pumped. And that was a really cool experience. I mean, I saw on video what the welcome for the players were, but I think that was probably the biggest turnout they've had. So that was really cool. I'm surprised though when the ref bus got there first. This, half size of a bus got there, and everyone was booing the rest when they got off the bus, which I thought was
of course.
So not sure what that was all about. So that was cool. But you started feeling the cold. I mean, we got fully prepared. I had, I think, 5 layers of clothing on with Under Armour. We got the Hot Pocket hand warmers going.
Yeah, major key.
Yeah.
Major so that was on the Hot Pockets.
We also made the investment of the insole warmers. So it's like this, the thing like an insole you put on the bottom of your foot or on your shoe. So we had those, and I put the hand warmers on the top of my foot as well. So I had like hot pockets in my hands and in my feet. So that was my plan to stay warm, and I kind of outline it towards the end how that didn't really go too well. But it was cool. We saw some people from Windsor, and we got in there. I mean, I saw one Jamaica flag leading up to the game. The entire stadium was just all Canada, right? But sold out house, 29,000 people. And it was just a really, really cool atmosphere. I mean, two guys came in front of us that I think are TFC regulars, and
Nice.
they turned behind and they're like, "We hope you guys like standing up." So I was like, "Oh, we probably just got guys that are gonna stand the entire game, like whatever." But everyone stood the entire game. I think no one was sitting in their seat the whole game. But yeah, I mean, the Jamaica team didn't look too thrilled to be there during the warm-ups. I mean, it was probably the softest rondo drill I think I've seen. These guys are sitting there just like, really soft passing, didn't look too enthused. I mean, every single one of them had gloves on. So they looked like they weren't too acclimated to the cold. But, right from the start, Canada just kind of took it to Jamaica. I mean, it was Canada's game from the get-go. I thought it was super interesting when every time they would score, they had, I don't know, fireworks or flares or whatever go off behind the net. So I thought that was really cool. Joe, you want to expand a little bit more?
Yeah, no, and with the flares, it was just funny when Jamaica got their own goal. You even talked about how you felt terrible for the guy because he gets a own goal and the flares just go up right after he scores. He's just like in his net getting the ball, and then it was on the what are they called? The Voyager section, like the rowdy section of BMO Field. So everyone was going nuts after the own goal, so that was kind of funny. But no, we actually looked. It was a great atmosphere, and considering we haven't been to the World Cup, just the atmosphere for Canadian soccer was really, really good. I don't know if it's just because TFC's fan base and most of the people there are maybe TFC fans, but just the fact that everyone was chanting all game, really kind of, made my passion for Canadian soccer, if you will, kind of grow a little bit. Just because I've never experienced it. We've never been on a major international tournament. So, that was kind of nice to see. So it'd be pretty cool to see when the 2026 World Cup rolls around. Yes. If teams come and they're like, oh, the stadium's full of Canadian fans and everyone's going nuts and it's kind of that atmosphere. It'd be pretty cool to see the world react to Canada has a crazy fan base of people jumping around in the stadium. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, they said since day one that the TFC fans are almost crazy as probably in the MLS. We, us up here, obviously, Canada being the cultural mosaic, as they always call it, with the different cultures and different backgrounds and ethnicities in Toronto, especially. Everyone kind of comes together for one team, for one cause, for TFC. And when that's just the Toronto team. When it comes to the actual national team, it's that times 1,000. With everyone coming together. Maybe you're from Toronto, but you're a Montreal fan, or maybe you're from Toronto and you have deep roots to, I don't know, New York Red Bulls or something. You won't you're not going to go for TFC games. But if you're Canadian, you're going to go for Team Canada. So everyone's going to come together at one time. You mentioned the red flares and then the rowdy Voyager section. That's just TFC in a nutshell. Those guys are nuts. Every single game they're out there. That one whole back section behind the net, it's at least 4,000 people, I think, that are all the crazy, not hooligan fans, but the diehard.
It was pretty close. The guy had no shirt on and he had his drum. Oh, yeah. And it's minus 15. He's sitting there just banging on the drum, no shirt on. I'm it would be weird if he was in a winter jacket, but it's just funny that he's just shirtless.
And it's strange too, because it's almost it's weird with the TFC because clearly soccer is a football sport. It's a British sport, British dominated. So you would think that with the chance that we do, or the chance that they do for Toronto FC and for Canada, they fit more of the British chanting style. But they bring in the drums and they bring in the South American Chivas USA and the teams from Mexico. They have that kind of vibe to it too, which is kind of strange. So it's a weird dynamic of, again, just in different pockets of different cultures. You have the crazy fans that are all about, English football, like EPL, and then you have the fans that like the South American game, like the MLS game, and it's like a different dynamic between the two cultures.
Yeah.
And they all just come together for Toronto, and they all come together for Canada, obviously. And yeah, man, like just watching it on TV, it's obviously like pretty cool because you get the crowd noise in the background and you see everything as a visual. But to actually be there, it's like something way different.
Yeah.
Like
Honestly,
to be immersed in it like you guys were. That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, I've only been to a handful of live sporting events. Went to go see the Lions once. Went to a Detroit Pistons game. And the only soccer ones I've been to are the big friendlies that happen. So I went to go see Roma and Celtic. Entire stadium was Celtic. Pretty good atmosphere, but even so, with the Man U Celtic game, it's an international friendly.
Yeah,
like you don't
we were
get
at that
anything.
game. I saw you guys there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That.
We saw you across the field.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
we?
we saw you. We saw you before the game too,
So yeah,
And across, I was like, oh,
and across the field. Yeah,
that's Andrew.
yeah.
that's
But
pretty funny.
at the end of the day, like those players don't really care about those games. They're international friendlies. They don't mean anything. This was the first soccer game I've been to where it actually matters a lot for Canadian soccer and the players on the field. So
Yep.
that was really cool to be a part of. And yeah, just like the chanting all game, I think they sang the Canadian national anthem like 5 times during the entire game.
Yeah.
But the afterwards, I mean, Jill got a video of it when the 90 minutes flew and everyone ran on the field. That was really cool. Like the bench ran on the field. I was gonna say, this is gonna be like Man City when the entire stadium goes on the field, but that
honestly, I thought that was gonna happen. That would not surprise me at all.
Yeah,
if that took place.
That did not happen.
Yeah, security's probably pretty tight.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons. But yeah, I thought that was gonna happen for sure. Like what a moment! Like if it was to ever happen, it would have been then, right?
Yeah. But no, like obviously benches cleared, fireworks went off. I mean, it was like Party City after that, and then they took a picture at the end. They did the whole Iceland chant at the end with the entire stadium. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I came home and then I watched the actual first time Iceland did that chant at Euros, right, when they beat England.
Yep.
I think that was the first time it landed on planet Earth. And then everyone started copying it, like, oh, this is the coolest thing we've ever seen.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fitting for Iceland for like the whole volcano thing and whatever the thunder, whatever it's supposed to be like.
Yeah,
and Canada took it over. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, obviously, it's really cool, but like, it has nothing to do with us, like at all.
Yeah,
it literally just took it from Iceland.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just taking more culture stuff.
Yeah,
even
make it our own.
I heard. I think the Vikings and football do it now too.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so they do it.
Vikings. I was gonna say, like, obviously the game was huge in itself, but the stakes of the game were raised obviously when Canada fell to Panama 1-0 earlier in the week.
Costa Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica. Sorry, they fell to Panama the last game of the season, the last game of the playoff, last game of the qualifiers. Sorry, but yeah, the game is Costa Rica. I kind of thought Canada should have maybe came away with a victory there. I mean, it was kind of a squeaky goal that they got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nice finish from the header, but I just don't. I think Canada were maybe getting a little too ahead of themselves, and it's kind of like a trap game for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously having so many games in hand to qualify and to win, I think maybe they were going in a little too overconfident that they didn't play as well as they should. And I think John Herdman even said that after the game. He mentioned saying how like the guys weren't ready for this, like their kind of heads were already moving on to the game at BMO Field. So obviously against Jamaica too, like a weaker opponent than Costa Rica. I mean, for you guys, that's awesome that I kind of played out that way. Because when you told me you're getting the tickets, I'm like, they're gonna have the spot clinched already. I'm like, why are you gonna go? It's gonna be.
That's why I told Santo. I was like, oh, we're gonna go to the Jamaica game, but like they're already gonna be in at that point.
Yeah.
It's like we're just gonna go in the cold and just be like, oh, like you're already in. And then they lost. I was like, well, I mean, at least it's worth it.
Well, I mean, and even from our standpoint too, like we all kind of thought that they're gonna win the Costa Rica game.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't they have won that, or at least come away with the draw, and maybe raise their stakes or raise their chances of getting in before the Jamaica game? Like obviously some things had to go in their favor if they did pull off a draw against Costa Rica, but getting that loss, their first one of the qualifications, it put a little more pressure on the boys to come back Sunday and actually perform. Mm-hmm. And Kyle Larin, 13th minute, like nice finish, but kind of a goal that just kind of like showed up on his plate. right in his lap. But those are the ones you got to score. And it was frustrating because in the Costa Rica match, there was chances like that were popping up for him. And I was saying to myself, and I was saying out loud, these are the chances you have to convert when you're on the big stage.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you're playing against a random team or a team that's better than us, and these chances pop up where you're at the top of the 18, or you have to do a quick turn from 10 yards out and you hit it wide, or you hit right at the goalie. Those are the goals that the good teams score. And so I was kind of getting frustrated, even though, I mean, again, we had games in hand, but I wanted to win the Costa Rica game and just get in and just have a safe, like restful last couple of games.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, like you got to score those. You got to score those. Like Messi scores those. Ronaldo scores those.
Yeah.
Mbappe scores those, you know?
Yeah.
So for him to finally get his goal deserved, and a goal that, you know, was probably looming for him for a while in the Jamaica game to get the 1-0 lead. I mean, that's huge for confidence, and it just kind of set the bar, or set the game rolling, set the stage rolling for the rest of the match.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking with my one buddy where it's like, oh, you know, I don't know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hope Canada doesn't beat Costa Rica because we want to go where it actually matters.
That's
right?
selfish.
So, yeah, super selfish. But lo and behold, they dropped the points, and then, you know, turns out to be the most ideal atmosphere we could have asked for.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really set the stage for the rest of the game. Canada had so many chances, a lot that they should have buried, but you know, I think it was really a top performance. I think Stefan was our best player at Stakio.
Yeah, he played really good.
Yeah, he was probably our man of the match, for me anyway. But I don't think we could have had a better performance, to be honest. I mean, really commanding all game. Jamaica didn't really have too much. I mean, I know they were missing a few key guys. So
yeah,
you know, really happy with the performance. I mean, Antonio wasn't there, so who would have knows what would have happened if he was.
Who else too? Bailey.
Yeah.
Leon Bailey? Is that his name?
Leon Bailey.
Yeah, he wasn't there as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are obviously their two probably best players and most prominent players for them. Would that have made a big difference in the grand scheme of things? The way that Canada was playing, I don't think so. And like I said, the weather was against them too from the get-go. Like you saw them trying to get a touch on the ball, and it's like the ball was a rock.
Yeah.
You know, on their first touch, and there's a few times that Canada failed to, you know, control the ball in the first time as well, but we got more adjusted or well adjusted to the game a lot quicker than Jamaica did.
Yeah.
And it showed just like the way that we were passing the ball, the quickness that we were doing, the triangles that we were doing, and, you know, creating open space. And again, these are things that we're going to have to be doing in, you know, 6 months' time if we want to compete.
Yeah. I mean, I saw, and obviously maybe we can get into the draw now. Like I saw the draw. Yeah. Obviously everyone did. And we talked about Mikel Antonio. I'd be interested to see how Canada stacks up against these, you know, top tier nations, you know, because yes, we have Mexico and the US. But it'd be interesting to see. It's like, oh, like we got to play Belgium. And I know we talked about this before, even the draw was made or even can't even qualify. It's like, well, how would Canada stack up when their midfield's going against De Bruyne or something like that?
Yeah, we're going to see it firsthand.
I mean, the one key thing that's good, obviously, is Alphonso Davies, which goes without saying. But I think because he's so good and he can play on both ends of the field, I think that would actually concern teams a decent amount.
Oh, yeah.
So that gives me some hope that, you know, we can go against Croatia and, you know, give them a hard time if we keep playing the left-hand side. Yep. So it's not like one of those situations where it's like, oh, we're going to go to the World Cup, but like we don't really have a chance, you know, because he's on the team and because, you know, we do have a lot of pace on the left-hand side and, you know, our strikers are actually quite threatening. It does give me some kind of, you know, maybe Leicester feels like, oh, like really you have a good center midfielder, you know, you got a striker, you have a decent winger. It's like, you know, that's all you really need, you know, people that can convert.
Yeah, and then you have a group of core guys around them that just play well all the time, consistently. Yeah. And like you mentioned, we have the Mexico and US that we always play against. That's our biggest competition. Canada, we don't really play that many international friendlies of that big of like ilk, you know, like that big of like competition. I'm sure leading up when they do have more international friendlies, we will play teams like maybe like Scotland or something, or we will play I don't know, Spain or something. Somebody who is from Europe, someone who actually will be in the World Cup this year, or if not, someone who missed out, Italy. Maybe an international friendly, just to have some like tougher competition to see what it's going to be more like when it comes in November and December of this year.
Mm.
Yeah, I think looking at the groups, everyone was kind of banking on Canada getting the Group A matchup.
Yeah.
I was looking at that one with Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands, rounding out the four teams there. We had a chance.
We did.
We had a chance, and I was like, man, if we can get into Group A, we might win the goddamn thing and go through with like the top spot in Group A.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But obviously that didn't come to fruition. I think Senegal got the last spot in there, or
I think it was Senegal. I want to say it was Senegal.
yeah,
Well, I think once the U.S. got the spot in there, I think we wouldn't even if we were drawn, we wouldn't have been able to go in there.
no Group A, Joe.
Isn't that with Qatar?
Qatar,
Yeah.
Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands.
Oh, I'm thinking of England, Iran, USA, and who's the other one in that group?
That's going to be named later.
Oh,
that'll
yeah.
be one of the
Okay.
English, or sorry, one of the European matches. Either Scotland, Wales, or Ukraine
Yeah.
will be in that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, our biggest chance is Group A, and I'm like, if we actually get in there, we can win the whole group.
Yeah.
We can.
Netherlands,
out.
obviously, Netherlands, obviously, but
I don't even know.
they're
You never
shaky,
know.
man. They're
Yeah.
we can beat Qatar. We can beat Senegal, being the team of like Sadio Mane, right? That would be kind of tough.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was tough. But still, I
And
mean,
that's-
I'd like those chances
Naby
more.
Keita, I think, and Edouard
Yeah.
Mendy.
But that's what I mean. Like, I think I read that they are going to have friendlies in Europe. John Herdman's going to
Good.
get some because, I don't know, especially our center backs. I'm not sure where they've played before or who they've played against. But when you're going up against like a Lewandowski or
Yeah.
whoever, it's like it's completely different. Like,
Well, we kind of know the group now, right? With
Yeah.
Belgium being Lukaku and De Bruyne heavy and Hazard and
Yeah.
Tielemans, those kind of players.
You really got to be ready to defend at someone that's like a lot better than you. So it'd be good to get some friendlies under our belt with, some nations where they'll get exposed to that kind of play, just so you're not going to the Belgium game and then you're just not prepared whatsoever to go against like these A-class strikers that maybe you never played against before. So I think that's going to be key before the tournament starts.
And also the fact that this tournament's going to be starting in November and ending in December of this year, we're going to have the remainder of this, this season, obviously, to play out and, have our players play in whatever league that they play in domestically in MLS or international level, like Davies and Jonathan David playing in Lille. They're going to be able to finish up playing this season and then have another half season basically under their belt until this, tournament starts.
Yeah.
So we're going to gain more experience. We're going to be playing more high profile games. Who knows what's going to happen during the summer transfer? Canada obviously has put their own players on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy like, what's his name? The defender there.
Sammy.
Should be more prepared here. A little blonde guy. I forget his name now.
The blonde defender. Short hair? Their center back?
Yeah.
Kennedy?
Maybe. Yes, Kennedy. He's a good player.
Yeah.
I think he's playing.
Yeah.
I think he's playing MLS. Like he can get picked up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be Arsenal. It's not going to be Bayern Munich, but he's playing MLS. You can get some games into Club Brugge in Belgium or something, or Ajax, wherever. I'm just naming off some names and some teams in Europe that might look at Canada and say, wow, like these guys can play.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing that happens when the Euro Cup or the World Cup does come around every 2 and 4 years. These no-name countries, these no-name players that are playing in some far distant land get recognition, they get TV coverage, and then they get picked up.
Yeah.
And no team has played better than Canada this calendar year. We've said that before in the podcast. We've had the best record, the best goals against, the best goals for, best winning percentage in the last year and a half in all competition. From Europe to Japan, or from Europe to Asia to us, North America, South America, we've had the best showing with the best players, most consistent players. So
Mhm.
these guys have put themselves again on the map and shown that what they can do. And I think for a lot of them, it's only a matter of time before it finally pays off. And I know a lot of them like to probably play in MLS and stay domestic here in North America. You know, families or parents live here. They have spouses that live here, have jobs. But, you know, if those guys come knocking, if a team from Spain comes knocking, or like Eustachio comes from, you know, playing, was he with TFC?
No, he was.
I think he's MLS. But then going to Porto, obviously.
Yeah, now he's going to Porto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget where he
before.
where he started from, but you know, from a guy from Leamington too. Shout out Eustachio, you know,
Yeah.
down the road from us basically.
Yep.
But from him going to Porto, obviously we have like the Jonathan David again going to or being at Lille. Kyle Larin in Turkey, I believe, with Besiktas.
Mhm.
Like again, like Alphonso Davies, the greatest player we've basically ever seen for our country, playing with Bayern Munich. These guys are getting out there and well deserved. And I think there's going to be more to come from Canada from this point now until the World Cup starts in November, until our first game against Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Eustachio plays he's on loan from Pacos de Ferreira, South American team, to Porto.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, like you said, it's huge for them. You always see it every tournament. You have standout players from countries you wouldn't expect. So it's huge for them, absolutely, to get the chance to go.
Yeah. And I think with John Herdman as coach, like he's really, really good. I don't think, he gets a lot of credit, but
Yeah.
I think he's going to have an actual plan when we go to Qatar. That's probably going to play to our strength. So I would anticipate it's going to be a little bit more defensive and break on the counterattack, which I said before, we are a team with that kind of threatening ability, which maybe that's better for us with someone like Alphonso Davies, that we can break on the counter and, nick something off those top teams. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, like you said, with Canadian players getting picked up, I think my buddy said, there are rumors of Jonathan David getting picked up by Arsenal. So, could be,
Arsenal
could be a new, or Man U. Jonathan David, I think it's Arsenal.
Yeah.
Either one, man. Take your pick. Both teams need help sometimes.
Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, major.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I hope, really, really do hope it's one of those tournaments where Canada shows up and it's another Iceland situation where it's like, oh, like Canada's the team that people fall in love with. Just so the sport kind of gets more. It is really growing a lot. Like even in the last few years, the soccer culture in the U.S. and even Canada has grown so much. Before it's like everyone's like, oh, like no, it's like hockey, baseball, whatever have you, football here, but people are like really getting into it and just going to the atmosphere like we talked about before. People are really adopting it. So hopefully this is just another thing that propels it forward and, we just become another soccer nation and then hopefully become, a team that consistently qualifies for World Cup and maybe one day becomes competitive there. So hopefully more good things to come.
And there was a quote from John Herdman. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm trying to bring it up right now. I think talk about the World Cup draw actually. Oh, this is a YouTube video. I don't want that. I'll find it in a second. But he had a quote saying like, "This is going to put Canada on the map and become a football powerhouse." Is basically what he said. Like the world. Is this it right here? No, that's not it. I saw it somewhere. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but it was along the lines of, like this is going to be like our biggest test, our biggest moment, and it's going to put Canada on the map to be a football powerhouse. And he said that, I got a little tingly. I was like,
yeah,
that's a pipe dream. Like, yeah, that'd be great, but man, that'd be cool. Like, this is the one thing we've been looking for. And then I remember years ago, there's a Tim and Sid. Shout out Tim and Sid. There's a Tim and Sid post or a poll that they put out, and they said if you could have like a Canadian athlete be the best in any sport, like what would it be? And they took soccer off the list because it was too obvious. And then this is before Alphonso Davies actually kind of emerged to what he is now.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, a couple years later, Alphonso Davies comes on the map, and he's the best Canadian soccer player we've ever seen, other than Christine Sinclair, who's like in a league of her own.
Mm-hmm.
best male soccer player we've ever seen for our country. He comes out, becomes a star, puts Canada on its back. He made an appearance, I think, in 2016 at there's like a World Cup summit, like a FIFA summit. I don't know if you guys saw that. He came on in front of like the world basically and like announced his story. And this was during
Oh, I
like the
didn't.
World Cup bid.
Yeah.
It was really cool. He was like 17 at the time. He was still playing with Vancouver Whitecaps. Maybe he was 16.
Oh. Okay.
And he stood in front of like the FIFA presidents and everyone part of the board. And he said like his whole story of how he came to Canada at a young age, moved to Edmonton, to that whole thing, and like what Canada has provided to him, and then what have they've allowed the opportunity he has to like play and become like the player that he is. And I think later on that night or later on in the week, whatever it was, it's when Canada and the US and Mexico were announced that they won the bid for 2026 for the World Cup.
Okay.
And this
That's
is him
cool.
as a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So like, even
That's-
before his like superstardom happened, he was already kind of on the map for Canada and kind of being Canada like spokesperson. And he's taken the role on like a full head of steam. He supports Canada. He promotes Canada whenever he can. He has this like
Yeah.
live like Twitch stream that he does when he's watching the Canada games, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He's like breaking down, crying, watching us, go to the next round, because even though he's obviously a huge player and unfortunately he's been out for I think the last 6 to 8 games, whatever it is, due to COVID and like recovering from that, we still were able to use that as motivation and progress even without him.
Yeah. And
So that just goes to show our depth and like how we actually can play. And like you guys mentioned with Iceland or even like with Leicester, Joe said, if you can just adopt to a system and just believe in that the entire time, and that's all you focus on, that's all you keep training on, and you just make it a perfected system, you can do anything. And
yeah.
like Iceland did come out of nowhere in that European Cup. Was it 2018? 2016?
2016.
Yeah, that sounds right. 2016. Iceland obviously came out of nowhere. So the hype that Canada's had in that last year, I think they might have a target on their back a little bit, because like we're just a rolling train right now. And like I don't think anybody wants to play against us, to be honest. Like, yeah, we dropped those games against Costa Rica and Panama in the last couple of weeks of the qualifying. But
Yeah.
that wasn't based on performance. That wasn't based on us like not being a good team. That was just away game against Costa Rica, the Panama home game where I was at home. So like obviously just just a huge hangover from what happened on Sunday. So that game's like a complete wash. To still have the record that we have and to play as good as we have this last year, I don't think anyone wants to play against us, including Belgium, including Croatia, the teams in our group or countries in our group. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think we're going to lay down and die. I don't think we're going to lay down and say, hey, we're Canada. This is our first time here. We don't have as good players as you guys. No, we don't have guys playing in the EPL and all these guys playing in Bundesliga and Italy. Like we're not gonna do that. We're gonna come out. We're gonna perform. We're gonna show up. We're gonna play the way that we have been. We're gonna play even better than that. We'll be healthy, hopefully, knock on wood. And I think we're gonna surprise the people. And I don't think we're gonna be the Iceland of this tournament. I think we're gonna be the Greece of this tournament.
Ooh, the Greece. Oh, can you imagine?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Talk about putting Canada on the map, just win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again,
Greece, like they were good at set pieces. They got all their goals from set pieces and then just defended really, really well.
Hey, we can do that.
You just have to be, you have to be perfect. And that's what I mean. If you defend, I mean, it's not hard. You just have to defend perfectly. Obviously, not let any goals in. You'll probably get one chance in the game, and you have to score that chance. That's how Greece won.
Yeah.
So
that's all it is, baby. Win games. Win every game 1-0. Get a couple draws 0-0. Who cares? In the group stage, go through, progress.
Not hard. Just defend. Make sure Lukaku, Hazard, other Hazard, De Bruyne, Carrasco don't score on you.
We don't have to worry about Lukaku. Let's just say that right now. Okay?
We do got to worry about Hazard and De Bruyne.
Maybe those guys, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Canada players are going to be pumped going in, and I'm really excited to see what happens. I mean, if we can get a good result against Belgium, get a draw, that would be huge. I mean, if you can pull off the craziness of a win against Belgium, that would be, beyond their wildest dreams. get 3 points from your hardest game, and just get to the knockout stage, and then literally anything can happen. Get to the knockout stage, anything can happen any game. That's it. You have your 3 toughest games coming up, and get through those, and then you're fine.
Just get out of the group. Get out of the group somehow, and then go to PKs and win all of them.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do
That's
it.
all you have to do.
Just win, baby.
That's it.
Just whatever
Yeah.
it
out-
takes to win.
Eke out a tie against Belgium, eke out a tie against Croatia, and then beat Morocco, and then you're in the knockout stage, and then just defend, and then nick a goal in stoppage time. That's all you
Yeah.
have to do.
Crazier things have been done in the past. I honestly think, like I said, I think it's gonna be a long time coming. We're gonna have many podcasts about this leading up to game 1. I believe I saw the schedule somewhere. I forget where it is now. I have it on my phone actually.
Yeah, I think it was November 22nd or 23rd. We played Belgium.
Yeah, that sounds right.
November 27th, we play Croatia, and I think December 1st or December 2nd, we play Morocco.
Okay, it's a Wednesday, Sunday, and then something else. I forget.
Yeah, so it's something in that ballpark. I know
I
it's
have it
first.
here. It's a Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday the 23rd against Belgium. Sunday the 27th against Croatia, and then Thursday, December 1st against Morocco. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a 2:00 start on Wednesday, 11 a.m. on Sunday, which would be nice. Everyone can watch that. No excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And December 1st, the Morocco game, maybe the deciding game, maybe the most important game of the group.
Yeah.
10 a.m. on Thursday.
Yeah. Definitely be
December
exciting.
1st.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your portable TVs, get your Walkman out there, get something out there to be able to listen to these games.
Yeah.
We'll have, like I said, we'll have many more podcasts and many more episodes leading up to the biggest tournament in the world. Yeah, it's gonna be a time, man. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party for sure. Looking forward to what we can muster up.
Yeah,
Against the very best.
I want to
for
see.
sure.
It'd be interesting to see what, because we always talked about it. It's like, oh, if Italy ever made the World Cup, like who would you go for? I mean, for us, obviously, Italy's not in it.
We just
But-
said that, didn't we? We just talked
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, it'll be
Wow.
sweet to see like, oh, like the Crows like with their Canada flag or whatever have you. So
Mhm.
it'd be cool to see like Canadian flags going around because we never experienced that before.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's really cool too because, like, obviously this is a first for in our generation, this is a first. This happened 36 years ago, I believe it was, the
Mhm.
first time Canada ever qualified, first and last up until now. And yeah, it's a completely generational thing. It's completely new era with technology and everything that's like what's happening. After the game, my grandma called me, like out of the blue, like my 88-year-old grandma. She called me and she's just like, "I want to say congratulations to you guys for qualifying for the World Cup." And I was like, do you know what you're talking about right now? Like, I'm like, thanks, Graham. Like, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I didn't do anything with it. I had nothing to do with it. But then I also said to her, I'm like, well, it's kind of nice because at least I have someone to cheer for because Italy didn't qualify and she didn't know what I was talking about. But, anyways, she came in and congratulated my 88-year-old grandma who's like just watching random, CBC News or something, caught wind of Canada winning, going to the next round, and she knows I love soccer and love football, so she gave me a phone call to say congratulations. That's what this means for our country. That's what this means for us.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive. It's going to turn a lot of people, I think, into soccer fans. Whereas before, it was always like, oh, soccer is just a sissy sport.
Nah.
So, yeah. Depends what country.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it depends. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see all the changes that come from this.
Yeah, for sure.